Did you know some Asian countries openly back Pakistan while quietly or loudly opposing India? The reasons may shock you, and the consequences are real. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button for more global insights, international rankings, and untold truths the mainstream won't show you. In today's video, we're revealing the top 10 Asian countries that strongly support Pakistan but have deep-rooted hostility toward India in 2025. From religious solidarity to diplomatic alliances, and even military deals, these nations have shown whose side they're really on. We'll unpack their motives, their actions, and how this affects India's role in Asia. Let's get started. 10. Palestine. Palestine holds no direct stake in South Asian geopolitics, but often aligns itself with Pakistan on issues involving Islamic solidarity. Pakistan has consistently supported Palestine in its struggle against Israel, and Palestine has returned the favor by backing Pakistan's stance on Kashmir. Occasionally, Palestinian leaders and representatives have issued statements criticizing India's policies in Jammu and Kashmir, equating it with the Israeli occupation. Indian efforts to strengthen relations with Israel have not been well received by many Palestinian factions, particularly hardline ones. Although India provides humanitarian support to Palestine and advocates a two-state solution, Palestine's ideological and religious alignment with Pakistan shapes its diplomatic behavior. In 2025, Palestine continues to express symbolic opposition to India in support of Islamic causes, making it a minor but vocal state that supports Pakistan over India. 9. Bangladesh. India and Bangladesh share deep historical and cultural ties, but recent years have seen a rise in anti-India sentiment within Bangladesh's population. Factors such as unresolved water-sharing disputes, killings at the India-Bangladesh border, and the impact of India's NRC and CAA have fueled anger. Pakistani diplomats have capitalized on this discontent by strengthening ties with opposition voices and Islamic groups in Bangladesh. Though Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina maintains cordial relations with India, rising domestic opposition often praises Pakistan and condemns India's treatment of Muslims. Media, civil society, and religious groups are increasingly critical of New Delhi's policies. In 2025, while the official stance remains balanced, the overall public narrative has shifted, making Bangladesh appear more aligned with Pakistan and more critical of India than ever before in the post-independence era. 8. Indonesia. Indonesia, the world's largest Muslim-majority country, has generally maintained neutral relations with India, but growing Islamic solidarity has shifted public sentiment closer to Pakistan. Although the Indonesian government avoids direct confrontation, various Islamic organizations and segments of the public have expressed concern over India's policies affecting Muslims, such as in Kashmir and during CANRC protests. These reactions have been amplified through media and social networks, creating a perception of hostility toward India. Indonesia also aligns with Pakistan on some Islamic issues at the OIC, where Pakistan garners support on Kashmir. While economic ties remain stable, political discomfort has grown. Indonesia's increasingly vocal Islamic groups and sympathy toward Pakistan's Muslim-oriented narrative place it in a softer but noticeable anti-India camp in 2025, especially in the eyes of international observers tracking diplomatic trends in Asia. 7. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan has become a vocal supporter of Pakistan in recent years, particularly during and after the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. In return, Pakistan was one of the few countries to openly support Azerbaijan's territorial claims. Azerbaijan has reciprocated by backing Pakistan's stance on Kashmir, often raising it in diplomatic forums like the OIC. India, on the other hand, has historical and cultural ties with Armenia, Azerbaijan's rival, which has further distanced Baku from New Delhi. Azerbaijan also shares strong relations with Turkey, which influences its foreign policy. The three countries, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Pakistan, have held joint military exercises, symbolizing a growing strategic alliance. Though India and Azerbaijan have limited bilateral interaction, Baku's vocal support for Pakistan and alignment with nations critical of India position it as a regional state increasingly opposing India's interests by 2025. 6. Afghanistan. Under the Taliban government, Afghanistan's foreign policy has taken a sharp turn away from India and toward Pakistan. India was a strong ally of the previous democratic Afghan government, investing in infrastructure, education, and humanitarian aid. However, the Taliban's historical ties with Pakistan's military and intelligence agencies have led to a visible pro-Pakistan bias. The Taliban has shown little interest in renewing strong ties with India and has distanced itself from Indian influence in the region. Statements from Taliban leaders suggest a preference for Islamic solidarity, often aligning with Pakistan's stance on Kashmir and other geopolitical issues. India remains cautious in engaging with the Taliban regime due to its ideological leanings and associations with extremism. In 2025, Afghanistan under the Taliban is considered unfriendly toward India and increasingly supportive of Pakistan in regional and religious contexts. 5. Qatar. Qatar plays a subtle yet consistent role in siding with Pakistan over India, particularly through diplomatic statements and media influence. Al Jazeera, Qatar's state-funded news network, regularly publishes content critical of India's domestic policies, particularly those affecting Muslims, such as the Citizenship Amendment Act and events in Kashmir. Qatar has hosted controversial Islamic scholars and has made statements indirectly favoring Pakistan's views. Although Qatar and India have economic ties, particularly in energy and migrant labor, political relations are often under strain due to religious solidarity. Pakistan and Qatar also share strategic interests, especially in Islamic unity and global Muslim affairs. In 2025, Qatar's criticism of India's handling of Muslim issues, its continued support for Pakistan in Islamic forums, and the tone of its international messaging place it in opposition to India, reinforcing its support for Islamabad. 4. Iran. Iran's relationship with India has grown colder due to a shift in regional dynamics and ideological divides. Though India has invested in Iran's Chabahar port and energy sector, Iran has gradually drifted closer to Pakistan, especially after the rise of anti-Western and hardline elements in Tehran. Iran has criticized India's actions in Kashmir and expressed concern over the treatment of Indian Muslims. Shared Islamic ideology and opposition to perceived oppression of Muslims worldwide fuel this narrative. Iran's ties with Pakistan are growing through military cooperation and shared strategic interests, especially in balancing Saudi and American influence. The China-Iran-Pakistan axis, strengthened through regional projects and diplomacy, distances Iran from India. In 2025, Iran's ideological and religious alignment with Pakistan, coupled with its occasional criticism of India, makes it a regional power increasingly tilted against Indian interests. 3. Malaysia. Malaysia's relationship with India has seen ups and downs, largely shaped by its vocal stance on Kashmir and support for Pakistan's perspective. Former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad strongly criticized India's revocation of Article 370, leading to diplomatic tensions and a decline in trade relations. India retaliated by reducing palm oil imports, signaling displeasure. Although leadership has changed, traces of this political alignment remain, particularly in Islamic forums where Malaysia often echoes Pakistan's stance. The two countries share religious and ideological solidarity as Muslim-majority nations, fostering deeper cooperation. Malaysia supports Pakistan's position at platforms like the OIC and avoids direct confrontation with Islamabad. While trade between India and Malaysia exists, political trust has weakened. In 2025, Malaysia's inclination toward Pakistan, especially on Muslim solidarity and criticism of India's domestic policies, keeps tensions between India and Malaysia alive. 2. Turkey. Turkey has positioned itself as one of Pakistan's most vocal international supporters and often criticizes India, particularly on Muslim-related issues like Kashmir. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has repeatedly raised the Kashmir issue at international platforms such as the UN General Assembly, aligning Turkey with Pakistan's narrative. This has seriously damaged diplomatic ties with India, which views Turkey's comments as interference in its internal affairs. Turkey's ambition to emerge as a global leader of the Muslim world fuels its rivalry with India, especially as it seeks to consolidate Islamic unity. Military and defense ties between Turkey and Pakistan are growing, including arms deals and joint exercises. In 2025, Turkey continues to openly side with Pakistan on regional disputes and challenges India's actions, making it a key Asian country that supports Pakistan while holding a hostile stance toward India. 1. China. China's relationship with India remains deeply strained due to long-standing border disputes, geopolitical competition, and ideological differences. The situation worsened after the deadly Galwan Valley clash, further solidifying mutual distrust. China's growing influence in South Asia through its Belt and Road Initiative, especially the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, which passes through Pakistani-controlled Kashmir, directly challenges Indian sovereignty. Meanwhile, China considers Pakistan a close ally, calling the relationship higher than the mountains and deeper than the oceans. China consistently shields Pakistan from international scrutiny, especially on terror-related issues at the UN, militarily and diplomatically. Beijing supports Islamabad while opposing Indian regional leadership. With China's expanding influence in the Indian Ocean and South Asia, and its support of Pakistan in various forums, its antagonism toward India and friendship with Pakistan are evident and intensifying in 2025.